All right. What's up, YouTube? First live stream. Let's go. It's snowing outside. It's actually coming down real good. But we got some NHL games that we got to go over. So let's just get right into it. You can see the banner up down below. Hopefully, there is a few NHL games today. I missed a couple of the early ones. Just setting up this whole streaming thing. So we got some confirmed goalies, which is good news. And we are going to go to the first game. I want to save the Blackhawks game better after. Let's go Carolina Buffalo first. All right, when you look at these two teams, man, head-to-head, Carolina's owned this matchup. They're 8-2 their last 10 meetings head-to-head. 6-3-1 to the over between these two teams. Carolina has won the last two meetings straight up. Carolina is on a back-to-back in this one. We've seen Peter Kochetkov. I think he faced about 16 shots yesterday versus Dallas, so nothing too crazy. But they had a back-to-back with travel, so they had to go from Carolina to Buffalo. So you're probably going to see Spencer Martin. He hasn't been confirmed 100% on this one yet. Don't see it yet. I don't see him 100% confirmed. But it looks like it should be UPL on the other side for Buffalo. When you look at Buffalo, they are 6-4 in their last 10 games. They did just play in Columbus a few days back, 2 days ago. They did get the win 2-1 there. When you look at these two teams, though, I mean, Carolina is just a juggernaut between the two. It's kind of hard to go against them. Carolina's won 7 in their last 10. I do lean to a little bit of a lower scoring game. Carolina did just score only one goal in their last game. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a little bit of a lower scoring game. We're seeing the total set at 6 here. Definitely push potential with this game being 4-2 type game for Carolina. Carolina on the road, 15-11-1. So they do play their better hockey at home. When you look at Buffalo's home record, though, they don't play the greatest at home. They're less than a 50-50 team. So I would take Carolina at the short place. Even though they are on the back-to-back, I still think Carolina is just a way better team overall. If you were to look at props in this game, let's see. Was going to share the screen, but this is not really set up the greatest. It shows too much for YouTube. But when you look at SOGs, shots on goals, Martinook has been not bad. He's usually at 1.5. The thing is, he's good when it comes to playing versus Buffalo. But in his last 5 games, he's only went over his 1.5 shots on goal and 2 of the last 5 games. But when you look at Jeff Skinner on the other side, he's hit his line at over 2.5 2 times in a row. The thing with going with shots on goal when it comes to Carolina is they're one of the best teams at limiting shots. I'm pretty sure their defense is first in shots on goal allowed. So first, 25.3 shots on goal allowed. They rank 7th in goals allowed at 2.86. So, I mean, there's a reason why this total is set where it is. It's kind of hard to go with too many players when you're looking at shots, but Skinner would maybe be one. But again, when a team only allows 25 shots a game, it is pretty hard to back one of them. I do like Martinook in the goal sense and just in a value sense. I just want to see if I can find a good line for him. He's scored in 2 of his last 5. He's up over plus 400, so it's not crazy. Obviously, as a long shot. Let's see what line he's playing on right now. Come on, my computer's being kind of slow because I got so many things open. Yeah, he's still down to the 3rd line. That's the only thing that's why his odds are, plus 400, but he's only got 6 shots in his last 5 games. Sebastian Aho is the number one guy when it comes to this Carolina team. So I could see Sebastian Aho finding the net again. So again, I would lean to let's not close that. I would lean to Carolina money line. The under 6 probably would be in play, and I would say Sebastian Aho anytime goal, and possibly taking Jeff Skinner over his shots on goal. That's probably all I would even consider in that game. Sebastian Aho, he's been a wagon, so wouldn't surprise me to see him put one in. God, my nose is running. Holy, the snow is really coming down. That's not good. All right, next game. Do we talk about the big game of the night, which, I mean, some people is a bad game, but for me, I think this is the game of the night. So let's wait. We'll wait one more game. Let's talk about the Arizona-Winnipeg game. Arizona, man, they are just struggling right now. They have lost 10 straight games. They cannot seem to find a win. They just got dusted by Toronto. They are allowing a lot of goals. Winnipeg, not playing the greatest. They did just narrowly beat Chicago 3-2 in overtime in Chicago. That was a game where I was kind of not surprised that when you see the Jets as huge money line favorites, I tend to take the other team puck line. That's where I would lean with Arizona, taking them plus 1.5, just because Winnipeg, man, their goal scoring. I mean, aside from a couple with that Minnesota game, that Vancouver game, like aside from those two, they're not doing a crazy amount. They have owned this matchup. They're 9-1 head to head. So they have owned this matchup, and they have won the last 3 meetings by multiple goals. So they were a lot lower favorites when it came to those ones. So I'm not laying this price with the Jets. I think, honestly, this could be another game where you see low scoring. It's under 5.5 at plus money. You got Connor Ingram that should be in net here, and it should be Hellebuck. Both of them have been confirmed, I believe. Hellebuck's got 3 shutouts. Ingram has 5 shutouts on the season. So, like, these two goalies can actually perform really well, and you can, Winnipeg sometimes playing in Winnipeg, you can see some lower scoring games. Head to head, 6 of the last 10 meetings between these two have went under, but like the last 3 games straight up have been the higher scoring ones. They met once this season in Arizona, and the Jets just thumped them 6-2. So this Arizona team is just in such bad form right now. That's just the hardest thing with trying to get behind this Arizona team. When it comes to shots on goal, Nikolai Ehlers, and Gabriel Velarde have been their top guys right now, producing shots. Velarde's been on fire. Arizona, they rank, I think, 25th or 26th in shots on goal allowed. They're up over 33, around 33 shots per game they allow. Velarde, his last 4 games, he's went over his shots on goal in 4 of his last 5. Head-to-head between these two, he's had 3 or more shots on goal in 3 of the last 4 meetings. So I like Velarde here. I think he would be ripping the puck the most. He should be on the second line, I believe, tonight. Oh, no, he's playing first line, so that's even better. When you look at his last 5 game stats, he's got 4 goals, 4 assists on 17 shots. He plays on that power play line. He's averaging about 18 minutes a game right now. So Velarde for me would be the top guy I would look at in this game. I would actually, let's see. I'm just gonna do a live pull up on what he is to score tonight. Plus 200. Plus 200 is not bad. I mean, if I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, you don't want to play a ton of goal scorer props, but plus 200 for a guy that scored 4 goals in his last 5 games and has contributed for 8 points is not a bad He leads, or no, Sean Monahan is another one. Sean Monahan up there, plus 240 to score. He's got 5 goals and 0 assists. So he's in his last 5 games, averaging just under 19 minutes a game. So Sean Monahan, Gabriel Velarde would be 2 guys I would look at in goal scorers. I would like this, if this total was at 6, I would probably play it at 6 just for the push potential. Under 5.5 at plus money, plus 105 is good value. So, I mean, I don't mind it. But I would look at Velarde to score. Velarde or Monahan at plus 200, plus 240. And I would not lay that heavy juice with the Jets just because I think that's ridiculous, no matter what it is. But I can't really get there with taking the Coyotes. Take the Coyotes. If the plus 1.5 was even money, I would probably maybe take a shot on the Coyotes plus 1.5. But given their recent form, I can't really get behind the Coyotes. They've lost their last 2 meetings by 3 goals or more. I mean, those are 2 some juggernaut offenses. So the difference kind of is the Jets offense for me isn't the juggernaut that the Oilers and the Leafs are. They did lose 4-3 to Colorado, so they covered the puck line there. But then, 1, 2, 3, 5 of their last 6 games, they've lost by 2 or more goals. So that's the only thing with taking a puck line with Arizona right now is they just can't seem to get it together for whatever reason. So I lean to the under 5.5. I could see this being like a 4-1 game, honestly. New York, Columbus, the Rangers, 10-game heater, man. They're rolling along. It's kind of hard to step in front of a bus right now with these guys. I really wouldn't want to step in front of it. They're just rolling along like, yeah, they're on a back-to-back, but like minus 180. Maybe taking the Rangers to win this one in regulation is probably where I'd go. When you look at these, like 10-0, they did just narrowly beat Philly in Philly yesterday, and then have to travel to Columbus. So obviously that's probably why you're not seeing this team at plus 240, plus 250, somewhere around there where they probably would be if they didn't have the back-to-back situation. This one you should see Jonathan Quick. And then Elvis Merzlikins on this one. Holy, that snow's coming down like crazy. Line combos for these guys. Chris Kreider's been on fire lately. Same with Trocheck. The first and second line has been producing lots of their. Panarin's been getting the assists when it comes to the last 5 games. Trocheck, 5 goals, 3 assists, 17 shots in his last 5, and he's averaging 24 minutes a game. That's a lot of ice time, even for a second line center. Like that's pretty wild. Like let's look at his props. Yeah, give me Rangers. Oh yeah, Alexis Lafreniere. He's also been rolling. Like he's been shooting a lot. He's actually one I would look at for shots on goal. 8 of his last 9 games, he's went over 2.5 shots on goal. 8 of his last 9. Like this guy's just rolling along. His head-to-head numbers are not great. I don't like looking at his head-to-head numbers, but if you look at his recent form, even against 4 shots last night against a team that doesn't typically allow a ton of shots, whereas Columbus defense ranks 30th in shots on goal allowed. They allow about 34 shots per game. So Rangers in regulation for me is the play in this one, and Alexis Lafreniere over 2.5 shots on goal, minus 130, minus 120, somewhere around there should be what. Let's see. Don't have them set up on. So yeah, Lafreniere over 2.5 shots on goal, minus 125. I'll play that. I'll lay the juice there. I think that's worth it. And then the Rangers, I think I just can't see any way you really get to Columbus on You look at them head to head, the Rangers have won 7 of the last 10. They did win in a shootout last meeting. That was back in November. Right now, they're just rolling they're so hot right now. So Columbus, when they're losing, they're usually losing by multiple goals. A couple of these losses here, they're losing by 1, but the Rangers are pretty potent right now. So I would take the Rangers. I think they should easily get this win. The Rangers' last 3 games, they've allowed only 1 goal to their opponents in each of the last 3 games. So Dallas, they allowed 1 goal. In New Jersey, they allowed 1 goal. In Philly, they allowed 1 goal. I mean, you could see this team run out of gas eventually, but the Oilers did hit 16 in a row. You never know. New York's the hottest team in the East right now, so they could be very well, be on their own streak right now. So I'm not really going to stop in front of a team that has momentum. It's the same thing as when you look at that Aiden Hill interview for them today after the All-Star break. He mentioned how, having that much time off and your team gets in a slump and guys get unmotivated, and you play a team that is rolling along and has momentum, it's hard to get a groove back. So once you're in that groove, it's hard to get out of it. Really, you just have that. Once they lose and this win streak gets snapped, you could see them stumble, kind of like the Oilers did. But the Rangers are 19-9-3 on the road. Columbus just not very good at home, 9-15-4. So give me the Rangers and Lafreniere over 2.5 shots on goal. All right, we are going to what should be what we would call the game of the night. And this is only reason I say this is the game of the night is because you got Patrick Kane making his return to Chicago tonight. Going to be an emotional return. He helped to win 3 Stanley Cups. He is a veteran, obviously playing against a rookie, Connor Bedard. So a lot of people are anticipating this matchup, want to see it. I think it's going to be it should be a pretty good game. It's going to be a lot of emotion. That's the only thing. The Red Wings on a back-to-back with travel. They did just win 6-1 yesterday. It was an earlier game, so they had time to travel, get out of town, and come. This is an original 6 matchup. I hope this is a good game. Honestly, I'm rooting for goals. This total set at 6. I do really hope that we see an over in this game. I hope we see a high scoring game, even like a 4-3, like an overtime type of game. Would be nice. They have had, if you look at these teams head to head, the last 10 meetings, Detroit's won 5, Chicago's won 5, 6-3-1 to the over. You see 2 of the last 3 games have been 4-3, correct? Like 4-3 in overtime in Chicago, 4-3 just in regular time in Detroit. And then the most recent meeting back November 30th, 5-1. Detroit just dusted them in Detroit. That was when Kane wasn't even healthy yet. I don't even think they had signed him yet, or they had just signed him at that point. I don't think he was playing. Detroit typically plays their best hockey at home. Don't love backing them very often. Last time I was on them was when they played the Senators at home. I mentioned why I was on Chicago in that game. I had them 3-2 correct score at plus 1100. I had them money line, and I had the under in that game, and they hit everyone. And I had Connor Bedard scoring the winning goal, but he had that goal taken away from him. They did end up winning the game in the last 2 minutes of the game, and then missed the empty net, just like I predicted on my Twitter or X, whatever you want to call the X nowadays. But I hope this is a crazy matchup. I really do. Kane, like I said, helped them win 3 Stanley Cups. There's going to be some emotions. He's going to have tribute videos. Everybody's going to be rooting for him to score. So give me the Kane anytime goal scorer at plus 200. He scored the first goal of the game for the Red Wings in 2 of the last 5, I believe. Just let me see if I can find it here. 2 of the last 5 games for the Red Wings, he scored the first goal of the game. So to him to score first at plus 1100, somewhere around there, if you can get it, I would say But I also like looking at, sorry, I'm just looking at my phone here, team goal scorers. So I've been doing these recently. Patrick Kane, first team goal scorer at plus 450 is not bad. Him to score anytime, though, at plus 200 anytime in this game, I do like it. I mean, everybody's going to be rooting for him to score. His teammates are going to be trying to help him find the back of the net on what would be a very big night for him. I just think all the way around, everybody's going to be rooting for Kane to score. They're also going to be rooting for Bedard to score in this game too. They want to see both of these guys have a good performance. They want to see a good game, just like all the fans do. Personally, like I said, I want to see this game 4-3. I don't really care who wins, but I hope both these guys do score. Bedard and Kane, anytime goal scorers in this game. That's what I'm looking at. I also like their shots on goal, both Bedard and Kane, to get 3 or more shots on goal, so over 2.5 for both of them. I'll just pull up their exact numbers. Okay, so Patrick Kane, he's hit his over 2.5 3 times in a row. 3 of his last 5 games, 3 in a row. He gets exactly 3 usually, but I think he'll be shooting more tonight. Chicago ranks 27th in the shots on goal allowed at 32.59 allowed per game, and obviously they're up there when it comes to allowing goals. They rank 29th in goals allowed. They don't take a ton of penalties, but they're still middle of the pack, and they don't have a very good power play. So Patrick Kane, shots on goal, anytime goal scorer, I'm here for it. I think everybody wants to see that happen. He should be on the first line. James Reimer is confirmed, if I didn't mention that. Patrick Kane, three goals, 4 assists on 12 shots in his last 5 games. So he's playing all right. And then JT Compher would be another one I would look at. He's had good success versus the Blackhawks. He scored 3 goals in his last 5 games. He's averaging about 20 minutes a game, so I like Compher as well. JT Compher for the Red Wings. Sorry, going through too many banners and trying to figure out all this stuff. Hey man, I'm cool. I'm talking to myself. It's all good. Maybe somebody will see this after the live ends. I'm just trying to get into this, man. I like talking about sports and helping people make some money. Okay, so yeah, when we look at the head-to-head meeting, like I said, 5-5 between these two teams. I hope it's a 4-3 game. I really do. That's what I'm rooting for. The thing with Chicago is they only have 1 win in their last 10 games, I believe, and that was the Senators. That was the one I was on them back on February 17th, and that was that home game, that plus 175 or plus 180, whatever I had them at, and then a plus 1100 correct score. They did just lose to Winnipeg 3-2 2 nights ago in overtime. That was at home, and then they lost 3-1. So they scored 2, they've scored 3, they've scored 3, and they've scored 1 in their last 4 games. So I'm hoping they can get to 3 goals here against James Reimer. Reimer is, I just lost my tab. Reimer's what, 6? I think he's started 5-6-2, 5-5-2. I think he started 11 games so far this season, or 13. He's 5-6-2. He's got a 3.0 goals against average, so right around where we want it to be for this game. Detroit, I think Detroit wins this game. I really do, but the emotions is going to be hard. It's going to be heavy in the building. Detroit has won 4 straight games. They just came off a big win, 6-1 at home versus St. Louis. I'm rooting for a 4-3 overtime game here, and I kind of hope Chicago wins, but I do think Detroit actually pulls this one off. It just better players. You got DeBrincat, you got Compher, you got Kane, you got Lucas Raymond, Daniel Sprong, like a bunch of guys that are doing stuff. And I mean, on the other side, you got Bedard, Foligno, and Khrushchev. Like you don't really have anybody that's too. Dickinson, Jason Dickinson. I would probably look at him at over 1.5 shots on goal. He's kind of him or Seth Jones, one of the two. But yeah, Connor Bedard and Patrick Kane are scoring tonight. This game is going. I think this game goes over 6, just slightly. 4-3 correct score either way. I haven't looked up Patrick Kane to score the first goal for his team is plus 450, like I mentioned. Let's just look up the correct score. 4-3 either way. 4-3 is plus 1,100 and plus 1,200. So plus 1,200 for the Blackhawks, plus 1,100 for the Red Wings. I think there's a reason why those lines are set where they are, instead of being higher than they are, because it could very well happen. And like I said, 2 of the last 3 head-to-head meetings have been 4-3 games. This could be an absolute blowout too. Like Chicago's offense has not been anything crazy, but I'm rooting for goals. I'm rooting for Bedard to score, Kane to score, and both those guys to rip the puck and make it an interesting game. And I hope we see at least minimum 6 goals to get the push, but I hope we see 7 goals at least in this game. And I hope Kane has a good return. The guy he's one of the best players in the NHL for a long time. Best American-born player, I would say, for in his era. Like he was drafted, I think, 2007, or that was his rookie year, and he helped Chicago win 3 Stanley Cups. So he's got 3 rings in his 17-year career, whatever it's been. Connor McDavid hasn't even got 1 ring yet, so hopefully that changes this year, but who knows. Last game of the night is Nashville and Anaheim. Kind of a sleeper game. I'm not gonna lie. Nothing too exciting when you look at this one. Let's just pull up the goalies. Still haven't been confirmed. If it's Kevin Lankinen, I kind of like the Ducks at plus 1.5, but they did just play last night, and they lost by 1, wasn't it? So yeah, they lost. That was the Kings versus the Kings. They lost in the shootout there. So I don't really love teams on a back-to-back having to travel from Anaheim or LA to Anaheim is nothing. So it's not like the travel is the issue. It's just playing the back-to-back. The Preds beat the Sharks 4-2. This game just doesn't really excite me. When you look at them head-to-head, Nashville has won 6 of the last 10. 6 of the last 10, but the Ducks have won the last 2 meetings, including the one back in January 9th. It was a 5-3 game. That was in Nashville. Anaheim came away with that one. Nashville did put up 42 shots in that game. So that's probably where I would go on this one instead of picking a side. Instead of picking the side with neither goalie confirmed, it's probably going to be Lucas Dostal and Kevin Lankinen, like I said, on back-to-backs. Nashville needs this game, obviously, way more than the Ducks do. The Ducks probably don't even have a chance to get into the playoffs. They're pretty much last in the Pacific other than San Jose. So when you look at Anaheim for shots on goal, I would look at Frank Vatrano, Mason McTavish. Frank Vatrano, last 5 games, he's went over 2.5 shots in 4 of his last 5. Nashville allows just around 31 shots on goal per game. They rank for 19th in shots on goal allowed. So Vatrano up there is a good one. I like him as a guy that usually rips the puck, and Mason McTavish. Vetrano and Matavish do play on the same line usually, though. Yeah, they're on the same line again tonight by the looks of it. But that's where all the goals have been coming from. Pretty much all the offense is coming from this second line. Frank Vetrano, Mason McTavish, and Troy Terry is where all the offense is coming from. In the last 5 games, they've scored 8 goals in the last 5 games. You got Vetrano, 15 shots, 4 goals, 3 assists in his last 5. McTavish, 4 goals, 3 assists, 13 shots. And then you got Troy Terry, 2 goals, 6 assists, 13 shots. And these are all in their last 5 games, right? So that second line is where all the damage is coming from. Vetrano is usually on the penalty kill. So that's the only other thing with taking somebody with shots on goal is they are potentially going to spend some of their time killing a penalty. So you're not going to get as many shots on goal opportunities, obviously, when they're shorthanded. So Mason McTavish, he's hit 2 straight. He just came off 5 shots on goal versus the Kings, which are a team that doesn't allow a ton of shots. I don't know if I really like this spot for him as much. His numbers so heavily juiced to the under that it's kind of looking like when you look at his head-to-head numbers, that books are adjusting based on that. So they are thinking that he's not going to be shooting a ton. I have a computer model has him ranked literally right at 2.5. So there's not even any value. But the thing is, you're getting plus 150 on him over 2.5 shots on goal. He could very well end up with 0. That's the thing. Philip Forsberg is one you want to look at usually for Nashville. Forsberg's usually a beast. His line's usually high, so it's hard for him to get over. But sometimes when he gets over big time. Like in his last 10 games, he had 9 shots versus the Oilers, and that was in Edmonton. So for a player to put up 9 shots, 8 shots, 6 shots, 4 shots, when he hits it, he's hitting it usually by sailing over. So taking Forsberg's not a bad one. Anaheim ranks 28th in shots on goal allowed. They rank 28th in goals. They allow the shot attempts, like everything. They rank 30th in penalty minutes. Their penalty kills very bad. So obviously I am taking the team that is better, that needs this game more, but I could see this being a 1-goal game. I really could. The Ducks have won the last 2 meetings. So I would slightly lean to the plus 1.5 with Anaheim here. I don't love it though, honestly. Not with the 2 backups in net and both teams on back-to-backs. Let's look at one more. Any scoring goal? Who would? All right, so we got Patrick Kane, Connor Bedard, Sebastian Aho. I'd probably go Vetrano, McTavish, or Forsberg maybe in the Anaheim game. Gustav Nyquist has been good. He scored again yesterday, I believe. He scored in 2 of his last 5 games. Troy Terry, like I said, scored. Gabriel Velarde, I would take him as a... All right, so this is kind of all over the place. I have no idea what I'm doing still with this live stream and stuff. Just trying to figure it out. But that was it. I spent 35 minutes basically talking to myself, rambling on, going over random stats and stuff. End of the second in this Tampa Bay game, and it's still only 2-1. That's heartbreaking. I was rooting for goals in that game. It doesn't look like need a big third period. I think Nashville probably wins tonight. Winnipeg probably wins, but maybe just by 1 goal. And the Rangers. So if there was going to be a 2-team parlay that I would probably put in, 2-team moneyline parlay, I'd probably take... it's hard to go against Carolina, though. Carolina, New York, Chicago plus 1.5. Anaheim plus 1.5. Yeah. And Carolina money line over Buffalo. Buffalo's rested, but Carolina's just a better team. So I'd take them over that. All right. I wasted enough of nobody's time, but hey, we had some fun. Whatever. It's all good. Let's cash some tickets, and we'll try this again when I'm a little bit more prepared. I'm glad I was able to check this out, go live, and work around trying to figure out all this format and stuff. And let's root for that Kane anytime goal. I hope he does it tonight and in his big reunion. But I also hope Bedard scores. Those are my top two props. Kane, Bedard score tonight. I like the most. Probably Gabriel Velarde, Sebastian Aho, and then Forsberg probably for Nashville. So those would be my top 5, but obviously my top 2 is Kane and Bedard. Kane and Bedard. That's going to be the game I have my eye on. I mean, I didn't give you a ton of value, but if you found something interesting, or hey, you want to come chop it up and actually make some comments and have some fun, hey, subscribe this, and hopefully we will be better next time, because this was terrible. But that's what it's all about, man. Living, learning, getting better every day. I'm watching the snow slightly come down, I don't know, so might be busy the next few days. But let's root for goals in the Blackhawks game. Let's root for Kane and Bedard to get on the score, to get some goals tonight. Some big plus money there, and 4-3 correct score either way in that one. Plus 1,100, plus 1,200. I'm rooting for it. I hope it's. I think it's going to be Detroit 4-3, but you never know. You never know. Could be a letdown spot for a team that's won 4 in a row and is on a back-to-back with all that emotion and stuff. Maybe the Blackhawks come out and maybe the Blackhawks get that win. So either way, I'm taking that game to be competitive and over. And Blackhawk, it's 1-goal game is what I'm hoping for. And those 2 guys to score. So bet responsibly. Do not bet if you can't afford to. Please don't make stupid bets. Have fun and enjoy what you're doing. Like and subscribe if you guys want to see more content. I'm going to be working on getting more content coming out over the next little while. Hopefully once I'm done dealing with all the snow that we're getting here. So anyways, Connor Bedard, Patrick Kane, let's get it tonight. Have a good one. Peace, y'all.